So just before we start, I want to just take a second to just land wherever you are, because one of the things that happens is that when we aren't in alignment, we tend to be kind of out of our body. We're in doing mode. We're going, and not taking the time to really settle into our bodies and to really be present. And so wherever you are at this moment, I want you to just take a second to land in your body. So if you can close your eyes, if you're not driving or something like that, just go ahead and close your eyes. And just feel your feet on the floor or your butt in your chair. And feel your breath. And just notice the connection to this moment. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. So it honestly doesn't take much to land. We just tend to move really quickly through our lives and through our world. So as you're hopping on today, again, we're talking about alignment and the journey to alignment, and that it's the #1 catalyst to grow your business as well as to impact your life and to have to draw into your life and your business the things that you desire. So the first point is, sorry, I'm just circling back, because one of the things that has been coming to many of my clients is this place of like popping up into their heads versus being down in their bodies, and how that impacts the people that are around you. So I just want you to notice in this moment where you are in your body. Are you more up in your head or lower down in your body? And if you are more in your head in this moment, I want you to see if you can just drop down into your body. So maybe just notice if you can drop down into your heart space. And then even lower down into your pelvis. Because this is the place that you are going to relate more to people from. So even just changing this one little thing of moving from your head down into your body will change the alignment almost instantaneously. It will change your ability to connect to your higher self, connect to spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it. So alignment is really about feeling good. And when we are feeling good, we are connected. We are in the flow. We are connected to our higher self, universe, intuition, whatever you want to call it. And so each and every moment, we are trying in this present moment to feel good. And when we aren't feeling good, that's just an indication that we are disconnected or that we're not quite on our path at the moment. And so it's just information. And so each and every moment, you're just wanting to move a little bit up the emotional scale so that you can feel just a little bit better. It's not about taking a quantum leap from feeling terrible to feeling amazing, because we're human and that's going to be really challenging. And then we start blaming and shaming ourselves for not being able to make this gigantic leap. So it's just about moving up the scale a little bit each and every moment that you notice that you're feeling not so great. And if you're feeling really depressed, then it's still just about moving up the emotional scale just a little bit, maybe even to anger, because anger is going to have a little bit more energy than depression. So welcome as people are joining in both on Instagram and Facebook. So one of the ways that you get into alignment is to do things that you really enjoy. So take the time to notice in the moment, whether it's in your business, in your life, in your relationships, what's something that you can do in that moment just to feel a little bit better. Like tap into what brings you joy, because oftentimes we spend so much time doing what we should do, or doing what we're supposed to do, or what we have to do, versus doing something that would really bring us joy. And so as you get more aligned, you get more connected to your intuition and to your higher self. And that is always trying to lead you to what your desires are. Like your higher self always has the bigger picture. It's always holding the bigger vision for you, and it's always trying to push you towards what you desire and what you want. Literally, your desires are your soul speaking through you. It is spirit speaking through you. And so paying attention to what your desires are, what the joy is in your life. So this has come up for me because this weekend I had to move my horse. So I didn't have to. I chose to move my horse to a new farm. And what happened was so interesting, the whole process of it. And it just really tapped into this idea of alignment and how much time I have been putting this year into really being in alignment and being in joy versus doing all of the shoulds and the have tos, and how that has shifted my life and my business as I've started to put that first. And so this weekend I moved my horse. And for those of you who haven't seen me before, my word for this year is joy. And so each and everything since the beginning of the year, I'm always trying to tap into what would bring me joy next. What is going to bring me joy next? And even that doesn't mean that I'm trying to be in joy every single moment of every single day, because that's challenging. Things happen, life happens. But trying to pay attention to just like when I'm not feeling joyful, what's just something that's going to bring me a little bit more joy in that moment. And so at the beginning of the year, I kept having this voice that kept coming to me, telling me that it was time to move my horse. Which seemed weird to me because I was happy at the farm where I was. She was happy at the farm where I was. But I kept hearing the voice. And at the beginning of the year, I got a puppy. And so I started walking around this place called Boulder Valley Ranch at the beginning of the year. And I kept seeing all of these horses out in this huge pasture. And it was like one of the things that's one of my non-negotiables for looking for a new place for my horse. And so that voice kept coming to me, and the voice kept coming to me. And all of a sudden I remembered this conversation that I had with a really good friend's neighbor who also kept her horse at this place where I was walking around. So I reached out and I gave her a call, and she told me that she loved being there and that it was an amazing place. She kept her horse there for like 20 years. And so I decided to give them a call. And so I called Bob, the owner of the farm. And that day, somebody had just decided to move their horse. And so one spot had opened up, and so my horse could move there. And so that aligned perfectly, because last summer I was looking for a place and I was forcing it to happen. And one place fell through and the second place just wasn't ideal. So I just let it go. And so everything was just aligning, right? The farm, a horse just left, so my horse could come. And then secondly, I had 4 non-negotiables of where I wanted my horse to live. One was that it had to have that big pasture and she had to live in a herd versus in a stall. The second was that it had to be not as no further than I was driving now, or at least not much further. I wanted it to be relatively close to where I live. The third was that I didn't want it to be much more expensive than what I was already paying. And the fourth was that I really wanted to be able to just get on my horse and ride on trails. And I didn't have that at the place that I was before. And so that place, the place I moved my horse had all four of those things. It had the pasture, it had trails right there. It was less expensive than where I was before, and it was closer. So everything had aligned to make this move super easy and the perfect place, the perfect fit for us. And I just kept thinking, if I hadn't kept listening to that voice, if I hadn't been following my joy day in and day out, if I hadn't been in alignment, then none of those things would happen. So I want you to even think about something that's been happening in your life, maybe, where either you're just not manifesting it, it's just not happening, or something that happened really fast because you were in alignment. Because usually it has to do with being in alignment first. Because last year when I was looking for that barn, I was doing it just out of like strategy. I just was like calling every barn around me to see if they had an opening. I wasn't even I wasn't feeling into it at all. And the one fell through and the other didn't come to fruition. So that alignment piece, that feeling piece has to come first. It has to be the foundation of your business, of your life, of the relationships that you're in. Because that is when we are connected to our higher self, which has the bigger vision of what's been happening. And so the last piece is that I moved my horse this weekend to the farm. And as I was dropping her off, as I was leaving, my mom called me. And I picked up the phone and she said, I just wanted to let you know that I just got word from a friend of mine that your barn is under contract and it's not going to be a boarding facility anymore. And I was like, what barn? And she said, the barn where you are. And she didn't know that I was moving. So the place that I just left, because I had been listening to the voice that kept telling me, you need to move your horse. You need to move your horse. And the day that I moved her is the day that I heard that the old place went under contract. So I would have had to move anyway. And there's like 50 people that are going to be scrambling to get their horses into new barns, which there aren't a lot around here, especially with the 4 non-negotiables that I had. And so alignment has to come first. So I want to just do one practice right now to help bring you into alignment, because one of the things that we do when we're not in alignment is that we spend a lot of time in the forward part of our body, in the front part of our body, so that we are more in that like motivation, driving, effort mode versus sitting back in our body, which is more in receiving mode. So like drop a 1 in the comments if you tend to be more in the forward part of your body. Like even now you can feel the energy more in the forward part of your body, whether it's in your business trying to get shit done, whether it's in your relations trying to make things work, whatever it is. Just notice if you're more in the front of your body. And so again, go ahead and close your eyes. And just notice, I want you to concentrate on the energy that might be moving through the front half of your body. And just notice the vibration and the energy that carries. When you tend to be kind of leaning forward, when you're trying to get things done, when you're in doing mode, when you're trying to make somebody listen to you, when you're trying to get somebody to see you, when you're trying to have somebody understand you, when you're trying to be magnetic. And just notice this, the sense that brings of being in that half of your body. when you're trying to project a certain quality that you want people to think that you are, that comes from this half. So now I want you to move your energy to the back half of your body. So I literally want you to imagine it at the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, the back half of your heart space, of your chest, of your lower back. And then I want you to even imagine, if you're sitting, I want you to even imagine like sitting back, like if you had jeans on, if you have pockets on, imagine kind of even sitting back a little bit on your pockets of your pants. And just notice and just let things soften. So allow your body to soften a bit, the back of your head to soften, the back of your heart space to soften, your low back. And imagine literally being supported from the back, like you're leaning into support. So this is more of receiving mode. This is more of a place of trust. And we have to be more in receiving mode and more in trusting mode if we want to be more in alignment and more connected to higher self. Because as soon as I sit up and have more of this like effort and willpower, and it often takes me out. It takes us out. And then we get disconnected, and then we start feeling bad. And it's, again, that feeling bad is just an indicator to come back into alignment, that you've strayed off the path just a little bit. And it's like your soul kind of pushing you back to being on your path, pushing you back to being more aligned and in peace and quiet and joy and love. And so just notice how it feels to be sitting back in the body. Notice if you're still wanting to hold or contract anywhere, and if so, just breathe into that part of the body. Just being held and in receiving mode, in listening mode. Because when I was looking for the place for my horse, when I wasn't even really looking, that's when it just came. It was when I was just listening and receiving the information. So for the rest of today, I want you to just practice. I invite you to just practice being in the back of your body versus in the front of your body, and see how that begins to shift your alignment. See how that begins to shift your ability to hear and receive versus this strong desire for will and effort, because we only have so much willpower, literally on a daily basis. And as humans, we often use that up really quickly. So we have to get really good at being back in our body, so there's not so much hustle and drive. And this is why alignment has to come before the strategy, because if I'm just giving you my 5-step process of how to do something that helped me be successful, but it doesn't align, it doesn't feel good to you, or it doesn't make sense to you, or one of the steps is not a step you want to do, then you're going to be off. Like, you're going to keep trying to do it, and you're going to wonder why I can do that particular strategy and be successful, but you're doing the exact same thing that I'm telling you to do word for word, and it's not working. And it's because you aren't in alignment with that strategy. So you have to get really good at listening to what fits for you, of knowing who you are and why you're here, so that when you align, then things start flowing. That's when the life force opens up. That's when the energy starts flowing. And that's when inspired action starts happening. That's when you start doing things from a place of inspiration versus motivation and effort, which is exhausting. Like I am hands down a driver in general. Like I can be a workaholic, I can be a driver, I can get shit done, absolutely. But eventually I get burnt out. Like eventually I just work so hard. I could create success, but it was from a very willful place. It was from a very action-oriented place that was coming from like pushing away from the things that I didn't want versus being pulled by the things that I do want. And so I got completely burnt out and exhausted, and then I just like petered out. But when I started coming into alignment first and doing the action from that place, that was when like success started happening, but also I didn't get burnt out because the flow was happening, the life force was happening, the magnetism was happening, and the like was attracting like. Because when you're not congruent, when you're not in alignment, then you are pushing out energy that is going to attract things that you don't want. So there are 3 keys to alignment. The first is your mind. So what are the thoughts that you are thinking moment to moment, right? What are the thoughts? And I want you to just think to yourself as I'm saying these, what are the thoughts that you are thinking to yourself on a daily basis? The second is your body, how your body physically moves. What is your body language? And are you in your body? Like from the beginning, are you more up in your head, or are you actually in your body? Again, answering these questions to yourself as I'm talking about it. And then third, your energy. So our energy, our thoughts that we are thinking and the feelings that we are feeling is broadcasting an electromagnetic signature out to every atom around us, and it's impacting every atom around us. And so it's affecting everything around you. So what is your energy? What are you broadcasting? What are you broadcasting with your thoughts? What are you broadcasting with your energy? What are you broadcasting with your body language? Because if you're wondering why you aren't manifesting quickly, if you're wondering why you're stuck in emotions that you don't want to be in, if you're wondering why you aren't pulling in the abundance that you desire, or the clients that you desire, or if you're wondering why you aren't having the impact or influence that you desire, it is an alignment issue. It is not a strategy issue. Hopefully this is making sense. Like drop a 2 if this is making sense to you all, that it is an alignment issue versus a strategy issue. Because if you are telling yourself the thoughts that you think are impacting the feelings that you feel, which are impacting the energy that you are sending out, which is impacting who are the clients that you're drawing in, what kind of partner do you keep getting involved with that isn't working? Like what are the things that you're desiring and wanting that aren't happening? And I can guarantee that it is an alignment issue, not a strategy issue. I can give you the strategy, but if it's not in alignment with you, then it doesn't matter if you do the strategy. It only matters what the alignment is first. So I just want to see if I missed anything that I really wanted to say. So this has really been one of my big missions, is to spread this idea of coming into alignment. Because I know that I've been working on this in myself and trying to become masterful at this in myself for about a year, and definitely since January when my word became joy, because in order to really feel joy, I have to keep coming back into alignment, have to keep coming back in alignment, have to be in the back of my body versus in the front of my body. And a number of other practices that I've been practicing to help me come into a place of feeling good as often as possible throughout my day. And so I want, if this is resonating with you, please share this out. And this is why, like over the weekend, when all of that aligned with my horse and it was just so easy, and I got chills when my mom called and said, the other farm is closing, and I had no idea that that was happening. Like, that was true alignment. That was truly in the flow. And so as I was sitting, I had a huge download that I needed to create a 7-day challenge, or a challenge, not specifically 7 days, that I wanted to create a challenge that would give you all some practices to start helping you come into alignment. And so I created a 7-day challenge. It's just a free challenge that is going to give you one practice every single day for 7 days, starting next Monday, the 7th. So every day in your inbox at 7 a.m., you are going to get a practice that is going to help bring you into alignment for that day. And I've been doing a number of practices, but these are like the top 7 that I feel like have really started shifting the way that I am drawing into my life the things that I really desire. And the faster that I've started doing it, the more aligned that I get. And so every morning at 7, starting next Monday, in your inbox, you will get one practice. Some of them are going to be an email. Some of them are going to be an MP3 or 4. Some of them are going to be a video. So there'll be different types for the different ways that you learn. There'll be different types of media coming through. But there's going to be meditations. There's going to be embodying practices, because you have to be in your body in order to be aligned. There are going to be journaling. So there's going to be kind of the gamut of practices that I have been doing that have been working for me to bring me into alignment, that I believe have to be the foundation to your life and business. If you're wanting to have a huge impact, if you're wanting to be an influencer, if you're wanting to be magnetic, if you're wanting to draw a bunch of abundance into your life, if you're wanting to have deep and loving relationships, alignment has to come first. So I am going to place the link below that will allow you to opt in to the challenge. But if you share this challenge with 5 other people and tag me so that I can track it, I will put you into a drawing for $100. So I'm giving 2 away. One will be $100. One will be a 30-minute laser session with me. So if you share that challenge, that free 7-day challenge, with 5 people that you know that you think would benefit from coming into alignment, that want all of those things, that want to have deeper relationships, that want to have more wealth in their life, that want to have like a huge impact and want to be big influencers in their lives, please go ahead and share the challenge with them, and you'll be put in a drawing for either $100 or a 30-minute session with me. So for those of you who are on here, please let me know if you have any questions. Melissa, it's so nice to see you. Dave, Julie, either Laurel or Lindsay, I'm not sure which one of you. I see you on Instagram, so I'm on both. But please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to hear. For those of you who are watching the replay, please make sure to put questions in the comments and I will check back in. But again, this has just been something that has literally changed my life, of having my day be spent more time getting into alignment, and then my actions, my inspired actions coming from that place. So If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will put the link in the comments in order to sign up for the 7-day challenge. But I hope to see a bunch of you. It's going to also, when you sign up for the challenge, if you want to join Badass Soul Tribe, which is my group, that will give you an opportunity to have a lot of conversation or ask questions about things along the way as you're doing the challenge. So go ahead and join that group. I will be doing coaching on there as well if you have questions that come up. So, but the sign up will kind of ask you to do that, as will remind you to do that as well. So if you have any other questions, let me know. But otherwise, I will see you all soon. Have an amazing Tuesday night. Bye.